right. But this guy, look at him. All right, man. Listen, if you don't know who this guy is already, 5th degree black belt in American Kempo, undefeated karate combat fighter, 28 years of martial arts experience, pizza connoisseur, community relations director, youth coach at Poe Wrestling, and fights out of Steel MMA San Diego, inaugural Kumite Champion. Jordan Lee Barker is in the building.
Yes,
Jordan, we
sir.
appreciate you so much for coming out, giving
What's
us
up,
some time
guys?
today.
Hey,
Yeah,
Thank you.
man.
Hey, thanks for having me,
So-
guys. I appreciate it.
man, you already, man. We love to have all the karate combat fighters. This is some outlet we kind of built for you guys to have outlet to speak to the fans and just to talk about your upcoming fights and stuff like that. So it's a pleasure to have you. Without you guys, this is impossible. So we appreciate you coming by. How you feeling today? We like to start there, man. How's Jordan feeling? How's the fight preparation going?
It's going great. I feel great. Just got a little strength and conditioning in, so feeling good. Kind of started to get into like my weight cut a little bit. Not like anything crazy, but just monitoring it a little bit more. But yeah, I feel good. Camp's been great. It's great to get to this point and be healthy and like feel good. You know, I definitely have been to this point and been like beat up or whatnot, and so yeah, I'm stoked. I'm so happy to be here, to be honest.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. And I know you. It's been a while since you fought. I think you fought, which is crazy because I was saying like I've never seen Jordan fight, and then in person, right? Because I do
Oh
majority
yeah,
of the events, and I did see you fight. It was actually my first event ever. I seen you fight. You were oops, we lost what's the name there. I seen you fight at my first event ever, which was the one in Vegas.
yeah,
Because that was your last fight. So, and then I remember I watched the fight, but I was like, oh yeah, I remember this because we were commentating from like the scaffolding at the top. This is
yeah.
crazy. I
I remember
started
seeing people
there.
up there.
Yeah, I started commentating there. This is crazy because a year later, then I was actually on the broadcast and commentating with the IFC stuff. So it's cool. But yeah, dude, man, it's been a while. But also, it's like you're one of the personalities in karate combat that everybody kind of loves and respects, and it's insane to watch your content because it's hilarious. And you're one of the most fluent in pit, right? And knowing the pit because you have. If you don't know, Jordan has a pit. Is it just a corner or did you expand at all?
Yeah, yeah. It's just the
Yeah.
corner. It's like I don't know the exact measurements, but one side of it I think is probably like 8 or 9 feet, and then it gets the corner, and then the other corner is like 5 or 6 feet. So it's what we could fit in my family's business. So
Yeah.
otherwise, it'd be sweet to have a full pit, but you know.
Yeah, 100%. I think,
Yeah.
I think they're working on getting facilities made where they do have pits there for fighters. But
Yeah.
I mean, how often do how often do you train on the pit? Like, is that part of your daily regimen since you are like, you
Um,
only fight on karate combat, right?
yeah, I really only do it like where like I put like a focus on it like once a week. I'll do like some rounds, drill rounds, sparring rounds. Um, a lot of times I just go there and wrestle like with my friends, like just like some of my wrestle just because I mean it's a good workout, it's tough, and then the pitch is fun. Like I got teammates and friends out that want to like come play along it. Basically, it's like a playground for us.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I'm pretty fluid against the wall because it's really just like playtime for me when I'm there. Plus, it's at my family's place, so whenever I'm there, like I see it, so it's kind of just like always in my head. Um, and yeah, it's just like it's a like I said, it's just like a playground for us. We just mess around, goof off, do random things. We have like a crash pad, so like we'll run and jump off and do flips and just goof basically. Um, so I think because of that, it's like we're able to I'm able to just feel like pretty comfortable against it.
Yeah.
But yeah, really just once a week is like my only like main focus. So
Mac, you got something?
Yeah,
You got
with
muted the mic.
your wrestling background, because as King of Power talked about, he's a wrestling coach for Power, which is top 10 wrestling school. Uh, so has that come in handy with you really developing like the meta for like wall scrambles? Because I've seen you doing some drills on like wall scrambling off the pit wall, which is something a lot of fighters struggle with because they kind of get caught and trapped on that pit wall.
yeah, that I mean, the wrestling background has helped a lot, and then I think coaching there has helped a lot too, just because it's like wrestling's just kind of in my head a little more often. And then when I go to the wall, I'm because sometimes it can be hard to like transition from like if I'm doing a lot of boxing or a lot of Muay Thai, kickboxing, and then try to do some wrestling. But because wrestling is just kind of a constant in my head throughout the week, when we're doing stuff against like the wall, I'm able to just kind of like flow with it because I'm already kind of in that state. And I've had a couple of buddies come that are like just straight wrestlers and kind of play along with it. Then I've had people come who are just like jiu-jitsu guys, and I've had people come who are like MMA guys. So they all kind of give you different looks, and you get a different like feel for it each time. And like I said, we're a lot of times we're literally just like, we call it like play fighting, where we're just able to just kind of go for things. I very often get trapped against that wall and it sucks, but because of that, we're able to kind of flow into other things and stuff. So the wrestling background definitely helps a lot with a certain level of comfortability too. Because, a big aspect of wrestling is kind of like somebody's on top of you, right? And they're riding you, they're pressuring you down. You have to get up, and I think in the rule set of Karate Combat, where there is obviously no jiu-jitsu and you have to get up. Otherwise, if you're just laying there getting beat up, they'll probably just stop the fight. So just having that, like, I think that mentality of like get to your feet, get out, whatever you can, that definitely is carried over to some like the wrestling positions against the wall for sure.
Pickers?
Yeah, I was curious about your nickname. Can you tell us why they call you Ruckus?
Well, it was originally Ruckus because I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. A lot of that, as you can probably
I
see
see on the
behind me.
wall.
Let's
There you
go.
Yeah, so that was what it originally was. And then we changed it like last year. Just because I don't know, whatever reason, I forgot who I was talking to, but we're talking about nicknames and stuff, and then I think with Ruckus kind of the style of fighting I think Ruckus comes with is very like just chaos, which isn't exactly my style. So we actually changed it like probably 7-8 months ago to which it says right here it's a Jumpman.
Let's go. Yeah, I've been seeing you post that.
Michael Jordan, and then my name is Jordan. I'm a huge MJ fan. I got an MJ poster in my room. I have a couple of his jerseys. And then somebody originally said because I tried to jump off the wall in the last fight.
that works.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll probably try it again this fight if I get to that position. I'm definitely gonna go for a jump.
Oh, absolutely. No, we do some real fun stuff off the wall, and that kind of
Yeah.
leads to my next question. You had that amazing kick attempt in the last fight. You've had a lot of really impressive highlights, spinning kicks, spinning back fists. I know you have a couple that went viral.
Yeah.
I know you're training a lot of different martial arts. Where do you kind of draw those attacks from? Which background, which training style?
Well, those are probably from my background. Growing up doing like a lot of point fighting, which is like where we throw pretty much all back fists. Like there's not really a crazy amount of punches. Like it's just like the style, and because especially the game of point fighting is it's a game of tag. So you're just trying to be quick. You're not trying to like punch each other in the face all hard. So that's where the back fists kind of come. And then the spin stuff I just kind of always done. Like it's I've been very fortunate to grow up in a karate school and to grow up with the older siblings and stuff. So watching a lot of like the older movies, like the 70s and 80s action flicks and 90s movies, like that's just kind of was always in my head. I've always thought I was in a movie when I'm doing things. And, growing up as a kid, like I'd spend hours every day at the school, and I would just practice these things, like just literally goofing off. Like I said, like it's a playground for me. And I think a lot of the stuff I developed from that, just without even thinking about it, that I'd be using it 20 years later. Like I don't know if it's on YouTube somewhere, but I have an exhibition fight when I was like 6 years old. It's me and like my karate gear against one of my training partners. We're in like on a boxing ring, and it's at this like event that my family was running. And all the moves I literally throw today, I threw in that fight. So like, if you need to study me, just watch me as a 6-year-old. Like I threw a couple spinning back fists. I throw like side kicks like crazy. I throw like spin kicks. Like it's just stuff that's been in me because I've just watched it and I've mimicked a lot of things in my life when it comes to that. And then like the spinning back fist thing was I know I said it back in the Kumite thing, but that was actually like my mom was known for that. She like when she was I guess competing and then when she was just training a lot, like I saw her like break people's noses and like drop people with her spinning back fist. Like, and she's a small like she's like 5 feet.
It's cleaned your room
5 feet tall. And so I just it's just things like you just I think without even realizing it, you just like you soak it in and you take it in and then you start to do it. And I never really trained the back fist ever. And then I did it and I don't even remember the fight, just like blacked out basically. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize how many times I threw it. So and then now it's just like now I throw it now. So I don't know. So a lot of the stuff I developed, I think, as a very young kid, and it just kind of stuck with me. So
Yeah,
we'll give
awesome.
credit. We'll give credit to like the movies. That's my style.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever works. And that's actually another perfect segue. I had another question for you. I wanted to know whether it's Karate Combat or other combat sports associations. Who are some of the fighters or the one fighter who you most enjoy watching?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like current day or just like
Anything you want. Anything you want.
I mean, I've always obviously just with the karate stuff. I love watching like Wonder Boy. I love watching MVP. Like MVP's last fight when he beat Shara Bullet, like that was freaking awesome. We were watching it at my family's place. And it's just awesome. It's so cool. It's just cool seeing like that blitz style like work and be successful. Because I know a lot of people don't do it. And just watching, it's like I definitely enjoy that. So those two for sure. I mean, when like Lyoto Machida was coming up, like when he was hitting the scene pretty hard, I was a huge fan. Obviously like GSP. I know I'm kind of being kind of obvious with the karate guys, but
there's no wrong answer.
Listen, you're not just preaching to the choir here, brother.
We love watching all those guys too. There's no reason for popular answers.
I think that, and then too, just like how they carry themselves is a pretty big one. I know people often talk about like the trash talking and everything, and sure, I guess it could be funny at times, but it's I think coming from that traditional martial arts background, like I don't do it, like I never will. You can kind of see I probably make fun of myself more than anybody, at least with like my posts and all that, and like I think it's just a certain level of sometimes our tuck away the ego, and just allow yourself to kind of just enjoy it and be fun with it, So those are probably my main guys. There's some other guys I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a couple of guys at some other organizations that are fun, that I just enjoy watching. But I mean, hell, anybody that can throw a spin move, I'm a fan of. So
fair enough. I hear you. All right, one more for me. I asked this to everybody. I got to know, what is your favorite post-fight victory meal?
I think I know this.
Damn, dude. Well, right after the fight, I mean, I'll take anything, be honest, because I'm just like want to crave it. But I think the safest one, because you can get it pretty much anywhere, is pizza.
Okay.
So definitely pizza. But like when I get back home, like because I live in like Poway's in San Diego, so we have incredible Mexican food. And
sure.
And
I get it. I'm from LA.
And Mexican, yeah. So, man, I will crush a burrito, some carne asada fries. Like those are like when I'm back home. That's like, there's a little local spot here in Poway called Lienzo Charo, and it's been here for years. Like a family restaurant. They have like surf and turf fries. So it's carne asada fries with like shrimp, and oh my God, sweet Jesus, like
that sounds
yeah. I'm about to
I had something like that when we were in Mexico. It was like chicken and like shrimp and everything. And I messed my shoes up, brand new shoes. Literally, all of the sauce went through it into my white lamellos and ruined them. I just want to say that. I think I still need to expense Karate Combat for those shoes because I was on lunch break. But anyways, Mal, I know you got some stuff from my man Jordan.
Oh yeah. Oh, now hold on, but just y'all got some Keith Lee vibes going on right there. I started thinking about exactly what you said. I'm like, hold on, some chicken, some shrimp in there. I'm starting to think like, man, I'm ready to. It's lunchtime for me now, and I'm thinking like maybe I'm gonna make my plans change for lunch, but we'll put that aside.
Hey,
Jordan,
you deserve it. You deserve it.
We'll get a burrito.
We're gonna go point karate, especially because that's my world. That's where I come from. I was going through your Instagram page, and I see that you have a picture of Raymond Daniels, and the post says it was great to meet my idol. With Raymond being an LA fighter, what was it? Did you grew up watching him, and kind of what were some of the tournaments that you went to in point karate?
So yeah, I actually the first time I ever saw him compete live was Karate Combat. Everything I watched was like YouTube or videos back then. But yeah, we competed. So growing up, I just I think it's probably when like YouTube was picking up, to be honest, where we were able to we have access to videos. Just started watching a whole lot of him because he was, you type in point fighting, and he was the guy. And so as a kid and a younger teenager, when I was in that, his swag that he had when he does his things, like you guys know, you've seen him, it's just it's incredible, his speed, his confidence with things. And so I was just from the get-go, I was a huge fan of his. And then I've just always watched it, then eventually when he went into the full contact, I think he did kickboxing for a bit, and then the MMA scene. And so I've always followed him. But then most of the tournaments we pretty much stayed in California for the most part. I went to Vegas a few times. I can't remember the name of the tournaments, unfortunately, because it was so long ago. But we did a bunch of the circuits just kind of in our area. We had a tournament called the San Diego Grand Nationals.
Yep.
We always competed in the Long Beach Internationals. My family was or my older siblings, they were competing in the internationals when it was I'm sure when it was in its heyday, the team fighting. And I know my family's school always had always put on a good show out there. And so the internationals weren't as active when I was going through it, but I did the Grand Nationals, San Diego Grand Nationals. I probably did that 13, 14 years in a row. And I competed in I did it as many divisions as I could, pretty much. We'd do 4 or 5 divisions every tournament. And so that was probably our main one. And I did go to Vegas a couple times. Mainly, I did a lot of stuff as basically when I hit black belt. When I hit my black belt when I was 14 is when I kind of picked it up in some of the bigger tournaments, just to compete, And then I pretty much stopped competing in the point fighting when I was 18 or 19. I mean, it was my first year into the adult division of the San Diego Grand Nationals, and that was always I think the age group was 18 to 30 or 18 to 29.
18 to 29, I think, back in that time.
Yeah, and that was always everyone watches that because that's where the best competitors were at. And so I competed in that one when I was 18, and I won that, and I was I'm good. I was I beat some guys that I had watched for years that were older than me from a lot of cool places. And I ran through that tournament. I think I won the grand champion one where I competed against the guy who was the older bracket.
Right.
I won that. That's my first year in it. And for me, that was enough. I was good. So that's where I kind of ended my point fighting stuff.
Right. It's interesting because California has an active karate scene, as you mentioned. Of course, a lot of stuff that's going on in San Diego. I've never competed at the one that you mentioned, but I've heard of before. The Vegas ones where if I remember, Stan and Barbie Wentz, depending on who was throwing that on over there, it did happen during that time. I mean, being someone that actually competed against Raymond during those tournaments, it's funny because when you said, we threw the back fist and everything last, oh God, I used to deal with that all the time. But Raymond being so long and so quick, I'm actually surprised that they are, that hasn't been incorporated that much into karate combat, because when you throw a technique that fast and with the smaller gloves, you have to deal with it, whether it's, if you're moving your head or you're shielding up a block. But that's the perfect setup for 2, 3, and 4. And of course, now that takedowns are allowed, it's something I think that may work its way into the karate combat, into kind of what we actually refer to as the meta. One other thing I did want to just comment on, because I know we got a couple other things to keep the show going. I did see the pit wall from your Instagram page, new follower, by the way. I just made sure to take care of that. And
Let's go.
The thing is that I think in allowing you to be in like in a flow state where you're just like, say, we're just playing around, but it opens up your comfortability. Most people, until they get in the pit, don't realize that this wall could be an adversary for you because you're used to putting your back on ropes or walls, and it's cool, but the pit's going to make you fall. It's going to make you slide down. But by having that, I think it opens up an area, like you said, you feel comfortable throwing a jump kick in the pit, off the pit wall. Your opponent certainly didn't expect it. I looked at the video, and he was just as surprised as everybody in the crowd. But I think that it does allow you to flow and allows you to set some things up. And I'm looking forward. I'm definitely going to be keeping that in mind, that you may try to do a little something off of that for this next fight. But I think you made a good investment there to having that for training.
Yeah, very grateful. One of the dads at our school, he built it, so basically it was after I won the Kumite. It was probably like a month or so after it. My parents were just like, hey, like, I just like won the contract. So it was like, hey, you're going to have to practice it. Cause I remember when I first got into, not too many people know about like the whole Kumite stuff, but like when we did the Kumite, our first time going in the pit was the first fight. So there was no like we got to go in the pit and feel it around. And if you watch that first fight, like especially the first round, like I don't do a whole lot just because it's like I remember going in there and being like, oh, this is it's kind of a trip. But I remember the first time I fell back on the wall like that. I didn't think I came at me, and I just was just backing up like normal, right? Like you normally would against a cage or ropes and bounce off it basically. And I remember just like my foot hit the bottom and I fell back, and I got up pretty quickly. But I distinctly remember in that moment, I fell back and I was like, oh shit, nope. And I was like, this is terrible. Like, this is terrifying. And I totally remember that. And then, then we didn't really have to, and then, after that was decent for the most part, but I just remember having that moment in my head where I was just like, that's terrifying. Like falling back there, like you feel so vulnerable just being there.
Yeah, you're stuck.
You're stuck. Yeah. And it's like, well, do I just fall down or do I try to get up? Like, you have to like to get up and all that. And so I remember I was talking to some of the guys at the gym about it, and eventually that's what led to us getting the wall put in. And it's great. I mean, we use it in all of our karate classes. Like the kids love it. They have no reason why it's there. They don't know why it's there, but they just run, they slide. Like it's actually just a great exercise or a great tool for kids to just practice things. Like just work on athleticism in general. Like I said, growing up in a gym, I was already climbing things, jumping off the walls. Now I just have a little bit of a better platform.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you guys have the perfect breeding grounds for the next Karate Combat Champions. And they don't even know it, right? You're unknowingly breeding the next champs with that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Karate Combat, before we let you go, I want to bring it back a little bit back to if you didn't know, Jordan does have an upcoming fight for all the people that are watching at home. You have an upcoming fight, Karate Combat 53 in Denver, which should be a good one. Like you said, Jordan is very entertaining, very exciting. Is there anything we should expect from you and during this fight? We haven't seen you in a while, and there is quite a bit new fans since then as well, right? We've had a lot of surge. So is there something that the fans should expect out of you, and maybe the people who don't know you or people who just haven't seen you in a while?
I think, I mean, it's also too pretty much like a brand new fight because that last fight I did it was the old rules.
Yeah.
And so now with the new rules, the elbows and I guess the low kicks and I guess just more the knees really. But I think you'll see a little bit more of a full blend of everything. I believe from the kicks to the punches to the wrestling. Long range, close range. I think my opponent's he's a good dance partner to be able to display a lot of the things that a lot of the skills that I have. And so I'm looking forward to it for sure. It's, I've been trying to fight. I mean, last year I tried to get on like 5 different cards, and one of them I did get on, but I unfortunately got hurt earlier last year. And then the last 3 cards I've tried to get on, I was almost on the Thailand card. I was almost on both, like the last 2, the December card and the January card. So I've been training, it's not like from a lack of effort, not fighting, but I just think you're gonna see more of a whole package as opposed to my last fight. My last opponent was a little awkward fighting him. He's a very awkward style, and so I think my next opponent is has a little more of a I don't want to say, I guess, style.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, one more question I want to ask you, and it's something that happened a little while back, but we didn't really see anything come from it. But it was absolutely hilarious the way you responded to it. Our current champ now for the bantamweight division, Arturo Vergara, a while back was calling you out. He called you out, I think, like 2 or 3 times, and you responded with these hilarious videos of you just like eating pizza and like, huh? Is he talking to me? But I think the fans, and I speak for everybody here, that would be an amazing fight. I think you were both 2 electrifying fighters, 2 very creative fighters. And seeing as he has the belt now and you have a fight coming up, and seeing that you get through this one and it goes your way, is that something you'll be looking at doing, seeing it? That he is the champion now. I think that's the ultimate goal for most people that are in the league in general.
Yeah, I think eventually, yeah. I do understand that, like, he's the champ and he's had, I don't know, 5 fights now, 4 or 5, or this is his 6th fight or something.
Yeah, 6.
So I do understand that, like, there's, I gotta like work my way up. I think because of the he was the one I was originally supposed to fight last year in Austin. And then I got, I pulled out a few weeks before, and then that's pretty much what sparked the call out. But I think eventually it'd be a great fight. I got, we have, like, there's no ill will between us. We might actually try to get some training in when we're in Denver. We were messing each other about it. So, I got nothing against. I respect the guy. Obviously, I do actually really enjoy watching his fights. He did fight the guy that I'm about to fight, so I've watched that fight a few times. But I think down the road, for sure, if it gets to that point, great. If it doesn't, great. But I know we'll definitely eat some pizza together sometime. That's a guarantee.
Yeah. He do like to eat, man. He smoke a lot, so I'm pretty sure he likes to eat a lot as well. But yeah, man, I would love to see it. He's a close friend of mine. And hopefully this is our first time meeting, and we'll get to meet each other more in Denver and stuff and get connected. But it would be, I think, one of the most high level kind of fights we've seen, because contrary to what people think of the rest of the kind of OG karate guys, as you've said throughout this entire interview, your bag is a lot deeper than most, right? You have the wrestling, you have jiu-jitsu, you have all of the point karate and stuff. You've been to Thailand and you worked out there, I've seen as well. And you work with the guys out there with Muay Thai. How long did you spend out there?
I was there for a month.
For a month, yeah. And
so, like,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Where'd you go?
Oh, no, I was just saying, I was thinking out loud. Yeah, I was there for a whole month, basically the whole month of October.
Yeah. So you have a very deep bag, man. So it would be amazing fight to watch. And yeah, Safar, you're fighting Safar Akhmadov, right? Yeah. He's a tank. He's a tank. I don't know if that dude is able to be knocked out. I don't know. I don't remember how many knees it was, but it was like 2 or 3 that he took from Arturo.
A lot. Yeah.
Clean shots, and that man was just standing there. And then the same with the other guy, because he fought the other guy twice. And it was the same thing.
Oliveira, I believe his last name.
Yeah. He lost in Playa del Carmen, and then he won again when he fought him again. So interesting, man. Well, Jordan, we want to wish you remaining of your training camp to go amazing.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you in Denver. I said November. Look at that. I'm trying to mix Denver and
whole new month, man.
I don't even.
I was saying I was confusing Denver and December for like a few weeks. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be fighting in December. I'm like, oh crap, it's Denver. I was like, I get it.
I don't know what it is. I haven't had enough coffee. I started this a little too late. I should have started it before the show. But Jordan, before we let you go, we always like to let the fighters have the last bit of the interview to just say whatever they want. If you want to promote something you're working on, if you just want to tell people about whatever you want to, these last few minutes are just yours. And we appreciate you for all your time that you're giving us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. It's I know you said you can't do the stuff without us, but we can't do the stuff without you guys, allowing us to be on a platform to talk about these things, and so thank you for that. Yeah, I'm stoked to fight. I'm stoked to compete. I'm very grateful to be able to be here, be healthy to do this, to get out there and do it and perform for all my family and friends. Just thank you to just everyone, really. My family's gym, Poway Martial Arts. Well, shout out to them. They just celebrated 40 years in business not too long ago. So shout out to that. Yeah. One of the OG gyms out here, and them. Shout out to Steel MMA, one of my very close friends, and coach Carl Gebhardt. That's his gym. He's definitely a big inspiration. He definitely helped me find my love again for martial arts in the last couple of years. So grateful for that, man. And then like Poway Wrestling, all the kids that I coach, I'm not going to see them for the next couple of weeks because of the fight. I'm going to be missing the state tournament because it's literally the same weekend as the fight. So it's my first year missing the state tournament in over a decade. So I got a good excuse for missing it, but I am bummed I'm going to miss the kids compete and do their thing and stuff. So just shout out to them and just everyone who's helped me.
Yeah.
I love training. I love that we have a platform. I love that we get to wear cool pants when we fight. So it's all good things. I'm just happy.
Yeah. Well, we love that you're in Karate Combat, and this your first time on the show, but definitely won't be your last time. I have connection with you. We definitely want to see you back on. And look, you got a reason to win that fight because you got to go back and see all those kids that are going to win that tournament, and they might all jump on you. You might be able to wrestle one or two at the same time, but I don't know if the whole team gets you, So
those kids are too good now. They're getting too good for me.
Well, we appreciate you, Jordan. Enjoy the rest of your day, brother. Like I said, it won't be the last time you guys see Jordan. Make sure you check him out. Karate Combat 53 coming up February 28th. He'll be going against Safar Akhmadov. So look out for a new banger, man. Appreciate you, Jordan, and we will see you soon, brother.
Thank you guys.
All right, see you soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, man. That was Jordan Barker, man. Amazing guy, man. Can't wait to see him fight. Oh man, I've been honestly waiting a while to see him fight. So this is gonna be a good one. And his opponent is a great. Like Safar Akhmadov might have 2 L's, but to be honest, he always he always has a good fight. So can't wait to see that happen. And the whole card is gonna be crazy. So, but moving on quickly because I do got to get my man Mallory out of here at 2. We do have our next guest. And this guy also has quite a long tenure and accolades that he does have. I don't know if he's having issues with his camera backstage. Before I get him up, let me make sure everything is good. All right, there we go. Did we get him? All right, so we're gonna